Did Daniel Ricciardo play a blinder with Red Bull? At the end of the 2022 season, it looked like the sun had set on Daniel Ricciardo's Formula One career. Having been signed from Renault at the end of 2020 season to be one of McLaren's flagship stars alongside Lando Norris, it looked like the Ricciardo-Norris-McLaren partnership would be a match made in heaven. And no one would begrudge anyone for believing this, as Ricciardo had made a name for himself as being one of the top drivers on the F1 grid. He'd beaten Max Verstappen in 2 of the 3 seasons they were teammates at Red Bull. He'd also beaten Nico Hülkenberg, who many pundits believed to be a top driver who's never been given a chance with a top team. And in 2020, he saw off Esteban Ocon, who had just returned to F1 after a brief hiatus. Also, Lando Norris had been previously partnered with Carlos Sainz, who had driven for Red Bull's junior team when Ricciardo was driving for the senior outfit. So it wouldn't have been a huge leap to believe that Ricciardo would have similar pace to Sainz, if not better. But what actually occurred in the 2021 season was a huge shock for most viewers. Ricciardo wasn't able to live with Lando's pace in qualifying or race trim, and this disappointing form carried over into the 2022 season. The fact that McLaren decided to buy Ricciardo out of his contract so that they could give his seat to a rookie looked like it would be the final nail in the coffin of Daniel's F1 career. Even Christian Horner said that there wasn't any space for Ricciardo back at Red Bull. Fans were beside themselves that the ever-smiling Daniel Ricciardo would no longer be in F1. The only person that didn't seem bothered by this was Daniel himself. Pundits and fans were asking why Daniel wasn't approaching teams like Haas or Williams to secure a seat for the 2023 season. It was almost like Daniel was fine with leaving F1. But did he have an ace up his sleeve? On the 1st of October 2022, several media outlets reported that Ricciardo was spotted leaving the Mercedes F1 team's garage on the Friday of the Singapore Grand Prix weekend. Was Ricciardo angling to become a Mercedes driver, or was there an ulterior motive for visiting Mercedes? Possibly. And probably. I'm certain that Daniel, having spent years at Red Bull and still pretty close with members of the team, knows just how much Christian Horner hates Mercedes. Any knowledge Daniel has about Red Bull's operations, Horner definitely wouldn't want it getting into the hands of Mercedes. So it wasn't long after, the 18th of November 2022 to be exact, that we heard that Red Bull had signed Daniel Ricciardo as their reserve driver for the 2023 season. At the time, I was pretty sure Ricciardo didn't return to Red Bull just to be their reserve driver, and I'm equally as sure he didn't come back just to languish in the second team either. As much as I like Daniel Ricciardo, his showing against Lando Norris across 2 very different philosophies of car design, ground effects and pre-ground effects, showed that he isn't a top-tier driver. So it's curious to me why Red Bull would sign him given that they previously said there wasn't any space for him at the team. I definitely believe Ricciardo forced Red Bull's hand in some way. And if that is the case, then he's probably got it written into his contract that he'll end up driving the second Red Bull car. So what does this mean? Well, it means quite a few things. For one, Perez losing his race seat is a done deal. Also may leave question marks about Nick de Vries's experience with AlphaTauri. Did he have to fail for Ricciardo to work his way back into the senior team? Does this mean Checo has to fail too? I would love to say all this talk of sabotage are just conspiracy theories. But if you watch my other video about Verstappen, links are at the end of this video, by the way, then you would have seen that Red Bull have sabotaged one of their drivers in the past. Could I be wrong about Ricciardo? Possibly. There's always a chance. Maybe Red Bull really did have to train the bad habits out of Daniel. Maybe he actually impressed on the simulator. Maybe he actually set a lap time in a test session at Silverstone that was comparable to Max Verstappen's at the race week. Or maybe these are just the things Red Bull want everyone to believe, so no one questions how someone that was being outpaced and outraced by Lando Norris is suddenly given the opportunity to be in one of the most coveted seats in Formula One. Thanks for watching. Help support this channel by sharing this video and hitting the like and subscribe buttons below. Till next time.